um, it's an incredibly powerful tool. And I also say that don't just listen to one person's perspective on storytelling. It's like it's important. I talked to one organization. We were talking about innovation storytelling, and they said, "Well, we do TED Talk training." And I said, "Fantastic! TED Talk training is fantastic. How many times do your people give TED Talks? You can't go give a TED Talk for a group meeting. Your advisor will throw you out. You can't really give a TED Talk for a pitch, for a startup. It's not the right format. You can't leave people hanging at the end like you do with a TED Talk. So go and get as much exposure as you can to different types of ways that people are storytelling. Listen to the Brand Story Guy. He has a really great storytelling framework that people use. Basically, I call it more the guide, but it's an adaptation of the hero's journey. Um,
Hmm.
there's a lot of people that are out in academia now doing a lot more research around the connection between storytelling and innovation, and how does storytelling get infused into the innovation process. And so, check out some of the peer reviewed literature. So there's a lot that's happening right now around storytelling. And as you said at the very beginning, it is a buzzword, but I think it's a buzzword because people don't get down into the specifics about like what it is and how you do it and how you measure it, and then how can you do it better. And so that
Yeah.
is like, if we could take it away from like the buzz term and say like, here's a process, and here's a bunch of resources that you can actually access, and here's how you can go about making yourself better at this. I think it'll take away the buzz term part of it and make it more like, this is something that is a part of what everyone should be doing.
And it needs to resonate with you. Sometimes there are some tools or some ways that you don't feel comfortable with. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's like maybe more salesy, more
Yeah.
pushy, right? And it's not for you. You could say like you feel in your guts that you're not comfortable there. So you
Yep.
need to find a way that makes you comfortable when you want to convey a message or to get an action from your audience or whatever.
Absolutely.
So
And you might also find that stories, you have multiple story frameworks within one conversation that you're having. So you may be giving a and but therefore framework. So that's ordinary world and something at stake, but there's some type of challenge or some type of cognitive tension. Therefore, here's our plan. And then you might combine that with the challenge action result. Here was our plan. Here's what we did. And here were the results that we got. And so from, in the world of innovation, that is a complete story that we may be putting together. And that may not work. That may work really well, but what may not work very well is something like the Pixar story spine, which is once upon a time, and there's some type of challenge, I think, and then because of this, and ever since then, and um, everyone lives happily ever after. So I
yeah.
mean, there's a lot of these different story structures. So get exposed, learn how to use it, learn how to know your audience, and put them into practice. Um,
But it seems like it's a tool that everybody could use everywhere. So, why do you
Absolutely.
think that storytelling is so important for innovation practically?
So specifically for innovation, it does a couple of things. And let's take it from two sides of the coin. Internal storytelling for internal communication is around culture building. So you need to get buy-in for your project, and you also need to build an innovation culture. And so from that standpoint, the sharing of stories really share those human behaviors, and you share stories that you want to get replicated. On the opposite side, it's about making things more brand aware. So then you get into more of these stories with those narratives being combined. So making things that are, making your brand seem more innovative, try to get more buy-in for a specific brand or for a specific product. Try to move get your innovation culture to be more seen as being innovative. So are your brand being seen as innovative? I think the last stat that I saw was like 57% of consumers buy from brands they perceive as being innovative or as one of their big drivers. So there's a lot of reasons and there's a lot of different ways that storytelling impacts both the external storytelling and communication and branding, but also the internal culture building that a lot of organizations are really trying to prioritize right now. So failure story on our part. So this is one thing that I like to share people is that our work around innovation storytelling, we've been doing this for about the past 3 to 4 years, really focus on this concept of where does storytelling play in innovation. Um, the We gave a talk with the innovators community, and what we thought we needed to do, this was about a year and a half ago now, what we thought we had to do was still convince people that storytelling was really important to innovation. And at the end of the talk, everyone was like, we already know this. We know that this is an important part of this whole process. How do we do it better? And we hadn't actually built out this, what we now call the Innovation Storytelling Toolkit. We hadn't actually built that out. And so now we've built out this full toolkit that we're constantly adding to,